Hey, what's going on everyone? My name is Seth the Programmer. In this video I'm going to be bringing up something about Superman. More specifically, we're going to be talking about, is Superman limitless? Does he have infinite power, as some other YouTubers may mention? So we're going to be going over that, and enjoy. So we're going to be discussing on the side that Superman isn't infinite, as should be pretty obvious. You know, Superman has lost to people that aren't really infinite. So I mean, let's go into detail about why he's not limitless. And to do that, we have to go over why people think he is limitless. And the reason people think he is limitless, the main reason, is that he apparently lifted weights of infinite values, like a book with infinite pages, or a dude that holds all of time within him, etc. So to debunk things like a book with infinite pages, it should be pretty easy at this point. For one, the book itself is within a sphere floating above the ground. So obviously that means it has special properties to it containing these infinite pages and allowing it to already float in midair. Two, the book, despite having infinite pages, is within like a foot radius. It's a normal book in appearance. I'd say it's obviously a lot larger than a normal book, but it's no bigger than a person. Yet infinite pages would span across the entire universe or even the omniverse. Infinite pages cannot be contained within a small said sphere. And third, the most important thing of all, is that Superman didn't even lift this book in question. He actually failed to lift the book. So not only is the book floating there and obviously have some special properties to it that doesn't make it exactly normal mass, he didn't even lift it to begin with. And if he did have infinite strength, he would have been able to lift it. Also, something to note is that when something has a large mass, it usually would create something like a black hole. Even if it was small in measure, take for example like a dwarf star, or you know how supernovas turn into black holes as they condense in mass. If something had infinite mass, unless there was some kind of barrier or special properties to it that didn't exactly allow it in the normal universe, you know, as it is, it would turn into a black hole, and an all-consuming, you know, black hole. It would not at all be floating above a planet. The planet would be completely distorted, and it would honestly destroy everything around it. Having infinite mass and not affecting anything around you is a fallacy. Next, we have Superman lifting eternity. For one, eternity is a measurement of time. But that's not even going to be the main argument we're going to be using here. Okay, so basically what happens is Superman and Wonder Woman try to lift this eternity, and they sort of budget a little bit, and then eternity comes crashing back to the ground after they fail to lift it. Notice how Superman can't lift this weight once again. So even if it is infinite, he can't lift it whatsoever. Next, if it did have infinite weight, and it did crash back into the ground, as shown on panel, and rocks were flying everywhere, it would completely destroy the entire planet. The planet would suck all the way into him, or the gravitational forces around him would be completely distorted. Infinite mass creates gravitational pulls much more powerful than a black hole. So it wouldn't just, you know, crash down on Earth and destroy a few rocks. No, what's being implied here is that he holds all of time within himself, and time doesn't necessarily have weight, unless he's implying that he's full of other dimensions, but that would honestly be unquantifiable. So either way, neither of these feats support that he can lift infinite weight, as he didn't lift either of them, and both of them are kind of weird to begin with. And in no way do they at all show anything along the lines of, you know, infinite. You know, the book isn't infinite. It's clearly not even larger than a person. If it had infinite pages, you wouldn't be bigger than it, unless you're infinite. And next, this infinite eternity, you know, crashed into the ground, yet only a few rocks flew in the air. And if it was infinite, don't you think, you know, the planet would shake a little bit? You know, infinite mass. But anyway, that's clearly debunked. So neither of those support Superman's infinite weight. And let's move on to some other things they mention. Many things mentioned were just simple things about fiction. Fiction breaking the concepts of reality. Like, the main example they gave is that Superman can hear things in the void of space. So this somehow makes him have some form of, tune force. I don't know what they were trying to imply here. I don't know how they were implying that he was limitless with this. But there are other characters in fiction that can do things like this. Like, Piccolo in Dragon Ball Z can actually do this as well. So unless you're saying Piccolo is limitless, this doesn't imply anything. If anything is limitless due to being fictional and breaking the concepts of reality, it'd be characters like Bugs Bunny or something with actual tune force, not a character like Superman that has had, his ass kicked before numerous times. Speaking of that, there are physical limitations given to Superman by the authors that completely debunk this entire death battle scenario. So let's go over those real quick. So I'm going to be reading this directly off of the guide here. And what it says is, in bold, physical limitations. And this is for Superman, remind you. So starting from Superman's strength levels have fluctuated throughout his career, but he has never had the unlimited power of the Spectre or other magical beings. There are always weights he can't lift, enemies he can't outrun, or puzzles he can't solve. Superman's support bench for academic or scientific challenges includes Batman and Dr. Emil Hamilton. And if a threat is too powerful, or too numerous, to fight solo, Superman can always call in the help of the Justice League. So, right off the bat, they're saying that Superman does not have infinite power. So, Screw Attack is obviously in... Screw Attack is who I'm implying here with this video, by the way. I just bursted that bubble. But anyway, Screw Attack is implying that Superman is limitless. However, these guides written by the author, or authors, do not agree with that whatsoever. They specifically state that he will never have unlimited power like the Spectre or other magical beings, or beings that are like 4D or 5D that do have infinite power. He'll never be like that. It's also stated that extreme trauma will kill Superman, just as it would any normal human. Doomsday inflicted fatal injuries on the Man of Steel, and this is true. Doomsday did kill Superman just by giving him concussive trauma. It should also be noted that Superman apparently cannot hold his forever, so he cannot even survive in space forever. So clearly, these debunk any form of limitless Superman claims. And on top of this, the limitless Superman claims being claimed are, well, not valid even when looked at directly. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something. Put down in the comments below what you think about a limitless Superman. Do you think he's limitless? Do you think he's not? What's your reasoning for such? And anyways, guys, till next time.